Hi everyone, my name is Vijay Ramakrishnan and I am a machine learning engineer at the WebEx Intelligence team at Cisco. At the team, I am the technology development leader of MindMeld, which is an open source conversational AI platform that Cisco has built that covers a lot of our internal AI assistants as well as external assistants that our partners have. Before joining Cisco, I used to develop conversational assistants for Fortune 500 companies like Starbucks and fast retailing.
Hi, I'm MindMeld. I'm also a machine learning engineer at the WebEx Intelligence team at Cisco, and I'm working with Vijay to build and develop our MindMeld open source machine learning platform. So before joining Cisco, I worked at Google and Microsoft and Box.com in a variety of cloud and machine learning services.
So for this demonstration, we will be building a WhatsApp chatbot that's powered by the MindMeld platform. After that, we'll be giving a brief overview of what the MindMeld platform is and how to build as well as run a MindMeld service. After doing that, we will integrate the MindMeld service to WhatsApp using a technology called Twilio. All right, so let's get started. For this demo, this is actually simulating a WhatsApp channel on a web browser, and the scenario here is that assume that you are a human resource manager or a talent manager at a large company, and you need to quickly have a way to find out more information about your colleagues within the company, as well as to ask questions about unstructured questions about company policy. And so within this demo over here, we'll be showing how you could do that and interact with the bot in real time. So first, we'll just start with easy queries. So for example, I'm just going to greet the bot. So as you can see for this query that I said hello, the bot responded by saying, hi, I'm your HR assistant. You can ask me questions about individual employee, details, or general policy question. So let's ask a bit more of a specific question. What is Mia's salary? So this query here is asking a specific question regarding a company employee. And the employee in question here is Mia. So the MindMeld platform itself has to extract entities. In this case, it needs to extract Mia, which is the person name. And based on that, it needs to query a knowledge base of all the employee information within the company, and then extract that particular employee whose first name is Mia, get the salary, and return back to the user over here. So that's all actually being done within the MindMeld platform in real time right now. And so as you can see, the answer over here is Mia Brown's hourly salary is 28.5. We can ask a bit more of aggregated questions regarding company details. So for example, the HR manager could be asking questions about how many female employees are there in the company. So we can also ask that question. So as you can see, it says that the number of female employees in the company is 174. We can also ask questions that are unstructured. So by unstructured, what we mean here is that it's not relating to a particular person or a particular business object. It's just asking a bit more of a general question. And MindMeld can also service such kinds of queries. So for that, I would need to ask a follow-up. So in this case, I want to know more about how performance reviews are done in the company. So over here, based on an internal corpus of question and answering pairs, similar to an FAQ or a frequently asked question directory, MindMeld can extract what the top question with the answer is that is very similar to the query that was asked by the user. So in this case, the top result was what is the performance cycle, And the answer to that is, for example, phase 1 planning, phase 2 check-ins, phase 3 review, and so on. So this is a reasonable extraction of a question and answer pair for the given question. What is the performance review policies in the company? So as you can see, what we have demoed here are three things: asking a specific question, an aggregated question, and asking an unstructured question. All of these can be serviced by this virtual assistant that is powered by MindMeld. And it showcases some of the deep domain integrations that MindMeld has with a knowledge base that includes both specific employee information as well as more generic question and answering pairs. So with this, we will transition into seeing exactly how we can build this bot. So for that, I'm going to transfer to my terminal screen that contains all the programs that are running. So for this demo itself, we actually have two processes that are running. The first process is the MindMeld application itself. And this window or this session over here actually has the MindMeld process that is running. So I'm going to just cancel that process itself. And the other process that is running is an ngrok session. And what ngrok is it's a process that allows an internal pod to be accessible through an external URL. And this is helpful because we need to provide this URL to our WhatsApp Twilio integration so that the WhatsApp messages can be rerouted back to the server, the MindMeld server running on port 8080. So that's actually running, and the URL provided here is actually the publicly accessible URL that maps to the port 8080. So with that, let's see how we can actually build this application from scratch. So what I'm going to first do is just create a hackathon directory. And once we create that hackathon directory, what we're going to do is we are going to build the blueprint. And what blueprints are they are quick start applications that MindMeld actually provides within the package itself. And with these quick start applications, you can play around with MindMeld and see some of the powerful capabilities of MindMeld, since we provide all the training and the test data, the logic for the dialogue management, and also the data required for the employee as well as the question answering pairs that I mentioned in the demo. And it's all packaged into a single application that can be downloaded just by this command called MindMeld Blueprint HR Assistant. And obviously over here we assume that you have downloaded both the MindMeld Python package as well as its dependencies. And if you haven't done that, then you can go to our Getting Started documentation page, where it provides all the information that you need in order to just download MindMeld. So as you can see, the HR assistant has been downloaded, and within that, you can see that it has all the Python scripts that are needed in order to run this entire application. Next up, what we are going to do is we are going to run all the machine learning models that actually power this assistant. So for that, I have to do a python-m HR assistant and to type build. And what this command does is that it looks at all the training data that is within this application, and it uses machine learning to train all the models using this training data. And then based on that, it would create these machine learning models that would then be saved on the disk. And so once it's saved on the disk, then the next time around, you can just directly run the application without having to train from scratch. So for this HR assistant, it's quite a complex application. And so because of that, the training time is probably about 3 to 5 minutes. So it takes a while. And so what we have instead is actually the readied application over here, which is the HR assistant, similar to the one that I showed. It also has the same files. And so once you actually have trained the entire application, you would then need to install a few other libraries that are needed, specifically the Twilio library that is needed in order to actually run this. So just briefly to mention what Twilio is Twilio is actually a software company that allows developers to programmatically make and receive phone calls, receive and send text messages, and perform other communication functions using web services APIs. However, we are using Twilio specifically to integrate with WhatsApp. And this is something that is quite powerful and allows our MindMeld service to directly talk to WhatsApp using this integration. And that's why we actually use Twilio in this case. So once we have downloaded the extra requirements packages, all we have to do is then just type Python WhatsApp bot server.py. And what WhatsApp bot server.py is, it's just a simple Flask server that has the integrations to the WhatsApp client. And within this Flask server, it will receive post requests directly from the WhatsApp service. And once it receives those post requests, it will then take the text from that post request and call the MindMeld platform. And the MindMeld platform will then return back a response, which it then publishes back to WhatsApp. So it's just a simple web server that connects directly to WhatsApp. And so once we start running it, it would actually communicate with the outside world using port 8080, which is then published using ngrok to the external world. So that's how all the pieces connect within this bot itself. So next up, I'll be showing you how to build and train the MindMeld application itself. So for that, we will switch to PyCharm, where we actually have the application in question. So this is the PyCharm application itself that contains the code for the HR assistant. Specifically, what I want to showcase is the training data for this application. Every single MindMeld application actually has an NLP hierarchy. This hierarchy contains 3 different levels and an optional 4th. We have the domain, which is defined as bodies of knowledge. So a domain, for example, could be weather, or it could be music, or it could be meetings, etc. Within each domain are intents, which are actions that are possible that can be taken within that particular domain. And within domains, you have entities, which are a phrase or a word that is of interest within a query itself. And then finally, we have roles, which are sub-classifications of entities. So for an example, let's go to this application. Within this application itself, as you can see on the left side over here, we have these different domains like dates, FAQ, general, greetings, hierarchy. Let's look at the salary domain. And within the salary domain, we look at the intent called get salary. And let's look at the train.txt file. So in the train.txt file, you have to input all the or example queries that will go into that particular intent that actually signify that intent. So for example, one such query is, how much is Lei Mingyuan's earner? Or what is Julia Soto's pay? So these queries are just general generic queries related to that particular intent. And one thing to note is some of these annotations. And these annotations signify the entity in question. So the entity over here is actually a name entity that is annotated for the query Luisa Monterrero. And there's also the money entity for this word called earnings. So as you can see, these are the special annotations that are used to tag these entities in question. And that's it. You just create a training file that contains all these queries. And once you do that, then you can just do Python-m HR assistant build, and it will then use all this training data to then build the models to understand new queries that have never been seen before. So these are the NLP hierarchy in question. Apart from that, the HR assistant also has these files, which are the HR FAQ data.json as well as employee data.json. These are files that are used to build the knowledge base. Remember, I told you before that the MindMeld platform itself has deep linkings within a knowledge base. So the knowledge base is creating using the data from these files. So in this file contains question and answering pairs, which are useful for FAQs. So one such question is my pay information available online? Answer is electronic delivery of confidential pay information, and so on is the answer. And the other one that is more specific for the employee information is the employee data.json file. It contains, again, a list of dictionaries containing the employee data. And all this information is then ingested into the knowledge base, which is run on Elasticsearch, which is an information retrieval engine that can then be used to query all this data. So now we have talked about two parts of the MindMeld platform. One is the NLP hierarchy, and the other one is the knowledge base. The third component is the dialog manager. So for the dialog manager, we are going to go to the file called salary.py. It lives in the top level directory over here. And within salary.py, remember how we asked that question, what is Mia's salary? So when we ask that question, the MindMeld platform would first infer that that query belongs to the get salary intent that we just explored. And once we have correctly identified it as the get salary intent, this dialog manager would then get called because it has matched that intent. So the way that this works is that once the intent called get salary is hit, this piece of code or this block of code is executed. And within this block of code, what we see here is that it replies back to the user, name's hourly salary is money. And name as well as money are slots that are then filled using information from the request and the responder. Two things to note: the request is the query that comes in along with the NLP's inference, the natural language processor's inference. That is what MindMeld uses to infer what the domain intent and entities are for that given query. And the other one is the responder, which is the module that is used to respond back to the user. So in this case, you say responder.reply, and based on that, it will reply back to the server with a string. So within the get person info, what we're going to do is we're going to look at exactly what this function actually does. So within the get person info, what it does here is that it extracts the entity from the request. So extract entities from type, and you can just specify the name. And once we extract the name, it then tries to fetch that name from the knowledge base. So here it's fetch from KB. And once we fetch from the KB, we then fill in the slots for the name. So we filled in name as well as this is the salary. So we're going to make a slight change over here. And as I showed you before in the browser, which I'll just show you right now, the browser over here, when I said what is Mia's salary, it shows over here Mia Brown's. But let's say I want to capitalize the whole of the name. In this case, I want Mia to be M-I, capital I and capital A, as well as Brown to also be capitalized. I'm going to show you how we can do that quickly over here. So once we have filled the slot with the name, we can just simply do upper. And what this does is it just capitalizes the name variable. Sorry, I'm not actually sharing the slide, but let me just go back to PyCharm again. So over here, when I fill in the slot with a name, what I can do is I can just do name.upper. And what this does is that it just takes the variable and uppercases the whole name. And once that's done, we can just go back to the terminal, which I'll show you right now. And in the terminal window, we just have to rerun the entire server, and it's going to reload the dialog manager, and it should uppercase whole of Mia Brown's name. And for that, we will just go back to the Chrome window. Say, what is Mia's salary? And as you can see, the whole of the query is actually capitalized in this case. So with that, I have shown you exactly how the integration of MindMeld actually works, or how to actually use the MindMeld platform. And finally, I'll be showing you briefly how the ngrok URL is then used to publish onto Twilio. So within Twilio itself, you would have to go to this particular URL called twilio.com/WhatsApp. And over here, all you have to do is just go to sign up and try today. Actually, what you would have to do is, let's see.
You log in over there?
Is log in.
Yeah.
And once you log in, once you finish your two-factor authentication, you will actually go back to the console. So this is Twilio's console. And within that, you have to click on WhatsApp. And within WhatsApp, the sandbox. And within the sandbox,
so sandbox is a way for you to actually get a developer number, and you can actually contact this developer number on WhatsApp channel to actually test out your application. So it's a very powerful and easy way for anybody to develop an application, especially commercial application, WhatsApp. And there are other ways as well. So WhatsApp has an official channel to actually develop application on WhatsApp, but you have to go through review and things like that. So if you want to get started quick and easy, this is an incredibly easy way to do it.
And so within the WhatsApp sandbox panel, you just have to type in the ngrok URL that I described before. And once you do that, you just need to click save.
Right.
And currently it's using the same URL. So once you save it, then you can directly use the sandbox channel to directly talk with the Twilio integration that MindMeld powers.
Right. So and this, you can actually use any URL here. So let's say if you actually have to convert an application and you actually deploy it on Amazon AWS, Google Cloud, and you actually have a public facing endpoint, you can use the public facing endpoint directly here instead of using ngrok. So we are using ngrok here because we are developing a whole stuff locally.
Cool, great. And with that, for more information regarding MindMeld itself and how you actually use the MindMeld platform, you can go to these URLs provided. So the first one is the website itself, mindmeld.com. The documentation is mindmeld.com/docs. The repo is here, and the getting started guide is docs/user-guide/getting-started.html. Using these URLs, you can get all information that is needed in order to start using MindMeld for your hackathon project. Now, just to summarize, we started the demo of a human resources chatbot on WhatsApp. We learned some of the main components of the MindMeld platform and how they work together. We also learned how to train and run a MindMeld application. And finally, we learned how to use Twilio to integrate with a MindMeld chatbot to WhatsApp. And with this, we are going to conclude our demo and presentation. Thank you for taking your time to listen. Bye-bye.
If you have any questions, feel free to send an email at mymail@cisco.com.
Awesome. Okay, great. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.